I'd say one of the best business principles that we kind of stand on each and every day is that it's not how you start, but it's how you finish. Though I think the start is very, very important, I think that a lot of people, and I'd say this personally, both in my own relationships, is that we can start off super enthusiastic and super like, we got energy and we're pumped, but then we finish very, very poorly a lot of times in both our business. And so what we want to do is make sure we show up, and it's a King's principle, that how are we showing up? How are we showing up each and every day? And that's going to both for our businesses and our families. And so making sure we show up and that we finish what we started is one of the biggest principles. And that's whether things are going great or things are going poorly and there's a challenge.
This episode is brought to you by Pierre Tax and Accounting, led by CPA Eric Pierre, a seasoned accounting and tax expert with years of experience helping individuals and businesses navigate complex financial landscapes. Whether you need personal tax planning, business tax strategy, bookkeeping, or financial planning support, Eric and his team are committed to helping you protect and grow your financial future with clarity and confidence. To get expert guidance you can trust, check out Pierre Tax and Accounting at pierreaccounting.com. This episode is brought to you by my friend Silas Lagoy over at ForgeMark Wealth. If you're a high-income business owner or professional and feel like you're getting crushed by taxes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. ForgeMark Wealth specializes in advanced legal tax strategies and wealth planning designed to help you keep more of what you make, grow it efficiently, and actually build long-term freedom, not just income. If you're making serious money but don't have a real strategy behind it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Silas and his team. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Builder's Bible. I'm joined by my friend Charles Smith, who is a buddy of mine from Rise Up Kings. And Charles is a home builder. He does some commercial as well. I'm excited to dive into it with him here today. His company is Dynamic Builders. Charles, tell me a bit of your story, man. How did we get into home building? How did we wind up where we are today?
Yeah, for sure. Started probably 20 years in the oil field prior to getting into home building. So we were... I was at Noble Drilling, traveled overseas quite a bit, and wanted to get into the industry to be closer to my family. So ended up starting the journey, I guess, into home building and renovations and remodeling in 2016. That happened to be right around Hurricane Harvey. And so it was a really interesting mix because I was updating and fixing up my own home at that time. And we had just started kind of into flipping homes, and all of my neighbors came and said, "Hey, we really need help. We have all these people coming in. They just ran off with $10,000 of our money, and we need somebody that we can trust." And so that started off at the time Foundry Construction, and now for the last 2.5 years, I've owned Dynamic Builders, which we do custom homes. We do renovations, everything from simple bathroom remodels to interior refinishes to additions. And we also do some light commercial work. So that's been my journey so far, was to try to provide for my family, but also be closer to my family, as the oil field just kept me going, kept me traveling. So
I love that. Well, tell us where the company's at today. How many staff, overall sales, any sense or size of the scope of the company would be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. So we try to keep the company very lean. So almost all of our people that we use are 1099 contractors. And so we have a couple of guys that help clean our job sites, that kind of do some things in and out. We are very close to getting to that business threshold where we can hire a full-time project manager to kind of start running a lot of our projects. But for right now, we are probably in the range of 3.5-4 million to probably about 7 million in sales. And and being in the luxury home or the custom home building industry, it's a little strange because we get these huge contracts, but then they're kind of spaced out uh, throughout a couple of year build cycles, either 1 year to 18 months to 2 year build cycles. So right now that's kind of where we range as far as a company. We are looking to grow that at a minimum of 30 to 40% each year over the next 2 to 3 years. And so this year, our goal is to get further into commercial construction, as well as really firm up our renovation business. And then by next year, we're hoping to probably hire an office manager, and most likely a project manager, so that again we're not working so much in our business, but we're working on our business. So
Yeah. Well, shout out. Hey, I do virtual assistant staffing, not to plug my own thing on the podcast, but if you want to talk about that, I'd love to
yeah,
serve you guys in that regard.
What's up, everybody? This episode is sponsored by ExitWise. If you're a business owner thinking about selling your company, whether that's now or years down the road, you need to know what your business is actually worth and how to maximize that exit. That's exactly what ExitWise does. They help you prepare, position, and ultimately sell your business by assembling a world-class team of M&A experts around you, guiding you from valuation all the way through closing. If you want to know what your business is really worth and how to increase that number before you sell, go check out exitwise.com and get ahead of it.
When
absolutely.
people ask you what makes you guys different, what do you normally say?
Yeah, what makes us different is, I mean, we are a Christian-based organization, and so we're all about integrity and transparency. Um, the contractor industry, both in the custom home building, not as much in custom home building as renovations, but you can just have a bunch of interesting characters that are running around, and it can be a lot of things that kind of happen in the background that you don't really see. We try to be very open and transparent with our clients. We just had a client come in, and we share our faith often in our intro meetings, normally a couple of times within those meetings. And he expressed that he was also a Christian. We were able to pray with him, like
Mm.
at the end of the meeting, and pray about our potential business together, as well as what it looks like to, even if we don't do business together, that we hope the best for him. So I standing out in that way, as well as just how much detail we put into um, the process and the meetings and the input that we get with the clients. So we have a great set of interior designers that we work with, and we're able to kind of pull this team together to help step them very methodically through building their custom home or doing their addition or renovation. So.
Hmm. Charles, what are some things that are going really well with your business right now, and what are some things that are pain points or issues you're facing?
Yeah, it's a great question. I would say the things that are going really well right now with our business is we are getting a lot of referrals, and we are getting a lot of leads from our referrals. One thing that we are struggling with is executing on getting a solid, I guess, really a solid quote or a solid estimate back to our clients in a timely manner. Like, it's been very difficult and challenging because we try to price out each of these major components of these homes, because the variability of price can swing quite a bit, whether it's steel costs or whether it's lumber costs or whether it's these kind of
Mm.
things. And so that's not going as well. Our turnaround time has been a lot slower than we want. We do have an estimator that we work with, and we are right now in the efforts of trying to be better at pricing things on like a price per square foot or a price per linear foot, or have a certain percentage basis based on overall square footage. Like, what is this standard cost for this particular item for this
Yeah.
type of house? And I think that's
Yeah.
going to help us get a quicker turnaround, at least on the initial side of things, and hopefully help us close more business.
I love that. Um, are you implementing or using AI in any form or fashion in the business?
We're using AI for ChatGPT, for kind of helping us do scripts, We are getting more and more into building our SOPs. So I talked to my business partner this morning, Gamma Paz, and he said we basically talked about how we're going to form this SOP. We're going to put it into AI and say, hey, this is our standard. So when we give you the information before, we want you to flow an SOP in this type of standard. And that's going to help us, again, be more consistent. This particular SOP I was working on this morning is relating to permitting. So it's like, what are the steps we have to do? What are the drawings that we have to get? What are the components we have to get? And we're using AI to help us more quickly develop these checklists and standards. And it's saving hours and hours of management time. Just on a couple of the things that we've done with AI, it's saved us a lot of time. Honestly, we're a little AI ignorant, and so we certainly need more help and would love to implement more systems, even AI as far as marketing or as far as sales, as far as helping us with our social media. We have a social media person that we pay somewhere around 13 to 1500 a month to help us kind of maintain social media and all of these kind of things. And I think going forward, if we utilized AI, I think we could cut that down a lot and let AI help us to produce some of those things.
This episode is brought to you by 10X Nerds. If you're a business owner doing real revenue, there's a good chance you're overpaying in areas you haven't even looked at. Things like credit card processing, insurance, telecom, and more. 10X Nerds comes in, audits your expenses across 30 plus categories, and finds immediate savings. And here's the kicker. They only get paid if they save you money. It's a complete no-brainer. If you want to keep more of what you make, go check them out at 10xnerds.com. This episode is brought to you by Rakowski Law Firm. If you're a business owner or have built a level of wealth, but you don't have your estate plan dialed in, you're exposed. Rakowski Law Firm helps families and business owners protect their assets, avoid probate, and make sure everything transfers exactly how it should. This isn't just paperwork, it's a real strategy to protect your legacy. If you haven't looked at your plan in a while or don't have one, go to rakowskilawfirm.com. What's a project or something you either worked on recently? It could be a home or it could be a commercial project. Is there one that sticks out in your mind that was really fun or challenging that you had to kind of solve for?
Yeah, there was two actually. One we finished in Nassau Bay down here in Houston. It was a huge modern home, probably around a $3.5 to $4 million build, and very, very challenging because it's on the water, it's in windstorm, the soils are super complicated, and it was in a district or a city that had a ton of turnover in their management. So it was super challenging because like the city manager changed 3 times while we were in the process of this project. So super, super challenging, but fun. One of the other ones that was challenging was one we just did in Sienna Plantation down here. It was a huge 12,500 square foot home that kind of had a Vegas theme, super fun. But the challenges we ran into was the client, and this is for a lot of renovators or home builders. I think the client wanted to run too much of their own job. They didn't want to use us as their expert. And unfortunately, we were a little desperate at the time to get work in. And I think we ended up backing out of our values and we backed out of our boundaries and we let this client kind of run our business. And it caused a lot of problems. Um, and we don't want to do that anymore. I think it was a huge lesson learned for us. And they're either going to pay us to manage the project from start to finish, or they can go use someone else.
That's good. What's one business principle or lesson that gets you fired up, over the years of being in business? Could be something about growth. It could be something about leadership, something that you kind of lean on and abide by.
Gosh, I'd say one of the best business principles that we kind of stand on each and every day is that it's not how you start, but it's how you finish. Though I think the start is very, very important, I think that a lot of people, and and I say this personally, both in my own relationships, is that we can start off super enthusiastic and super like, we got energy and we're pumped, but then we finish very, very poorly a lot of times in both our business. And so what we want to do is make sure we show up, and it's a King's principle, that how are we showing up? How are we showing up each and every day? And that's going to both for our businesses and our families. And so making sure we show up and that we finish what we started is one of the biggest principles. And that's whether things are going great or things are going poorly and there's a challenge. And so that's probably one of the biggest ones that we use and do every day in our business. How are we showing?
I love that. Well, you and I know each other through Rise Up Kings. What is one way that has changed your life, business, all the things?
Yeah. Wow. I started my Rise Up Kings journey in, 2023, December of 2023. And then it has transformed me just from the standpoint that I was at the point where I led a men's group and did all this. I was ready to kind of step back and take a back seat and just be kind of a part of a men's group. And Rise Up Kings really was at the exact time that God needed to show up for me to step into my relationship with my kids and all of this. I'm currently engaged to an amazing woman, Cynthia, and we're going to be married soon. We have an amazing set of kids and family. LeBeau, Salis, Willow, my daughter Lauren. During this crazy time, I ended up losing my son to a motorcycle accident, and Rise Up Kings was there for me during all of this. My fiance has just been a rock for me through this time as well, and is able to take what could have been an extremely dark time and find purpose and find healing. And Rise Up Kings was very critical to that as well.
Yeah. I love that, man. Well, Charles, is there anything that we haven't talked about today that gets you fired up?
Man, what gets me fired up is just trying to understand, like, how can us as business owners in any industry, I'm in the construction industry, how can I bring more value, purpose, and most of all, how can I bring God and Jesus into every conversation? Like, how can I show up and let people see me as a businessman, as a business owner, and they say, you know what? Wow, that guy was different. Like, what made him different? Is it the effort and the work that I put in myself through Rise Up Kings? Is it how much I'm digging into my faith and how God is showing up and reflecting? Is it how I'm showing up with my family? I want all of those things to reflect, and so that's what fires me up. Is like, how can I grow as a person? How can I grow as a child of God, as a steward of Him each and every day in my business and in my family? So,
I love that. Well, if people want to learn more about you and Dynamic Builders, where can they go?
Yeah, thank you. They can go to our website. It's dynamicbuilders.net. Dynamicbuilders.net. They can reach out to me on email, charles@dynamicbuilders.net, or phone 832-710-1000. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. If you look at Dynamic Builders Inc., you can see a lot of our reels and kind of get to know myself and my business partner. We would love to help you with any projects or even just advice. We give a lot of advice to people all over Houston and beyond, just when it comes to their construction and construction questions, renovation questions, etc.
I love that. Well, Charles, don't go anywhere because I want to keep talking, but thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Awesome. Thank you.